You ever been there, lying awake at night, just wrestling with those big questions? What's my purpose? Why are things so hard? Where's my life even going? Well, you're not alone. These are some of the most human questions we can ask, and today we're going to dive into how the Bible offers a really compelling way to think about them.
Yeah, these are the big ones, right? They're at the very heart of our journey. And if you've ever asked these, trust me, you are in very good company. From the very first page to the last, the Bible tells this one consistent, powerful story. God has a plan, and you're a crucial part of it.
So where does this whole idea of a divine plan even come from? Well, it's not some kind of add-on or an afterthought. The idea is that it's the original blueprint for creation itself. It all started from day one with a purpose. Okay, now this is really cool when you think about it. Look at the creation story in Genesis. There's this incredibly deliberate sequence. First there's light, then there's life. First there's order, then there's responsibility. And get this, there was purpose before there were even people. It kind of suggests that purpose isn't something we have to invent for ourselves, it's something we're invited into. The whole stage was set for us.
And this right here is the takeaway to hold on to. In those moments of chaos, when you can't see 2 feet in front of your face and everything feels like a fog, it's profound to remember that the architect can see the whole blueprint. Just because we can't see the plan doesn't mean there isn't one. And if you need an anchor, this verse from Jeremiah is it. It tells us that this divine plan isn't random, and it's definitely not meant to crush us. It's a plan aimed at our good. It's a plan that promises hope and a future, even when we're stuck in uncertainty.
But let's be real for a second. That immediately brings up a tough question. If the plan is so good, why does life hurt so much sometimes? Why is there so much pain? Well, this next part tackles that head-on, the idea that struggles are actually part of the blueprint.
And we're not talking about small stuff. We're talking about the real, painful parts of life, the heartbreak, the frustrating delays, your failures, your mistakes, the storms that knock you down, and those rock-bottom moments where you feel like you have nothing left. The Bible makes this bold claim that even these things, all of them, are included in the plan.
Now, this verse from Romans is a total game changer for how we see suffering. The key words are "in all things." Notice it doesn't say all things are good. No way. It says God works for the good in all things. That's a huge difference. It means our pain doesn't have to be the final word. It can actually become something meaningful. If you want a perfect example of this in action, just look at the story of Joseph. I mean, this guy's life was a complete disaster. His own brothers betrayed him and sold him into slavery. But after years of unbelievable hardship, he's able to look back at all of it and say this to them: "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." Wow. So this brings up another tension we all feel. What happens when our plan for our life just doesn't seem to line up with what's actually happening? You know that feeling when the map you're holding doesn't match the road you're on at all? This verse from Proverbs speaks right to that feeling. It acknowledges that, yeah, of course, we make plans, we have dreams, we have goals, but then it reminds us that there's a bigger purpose at play. It's not telling us to stop dreaming, but maybe to just hold our plans with a more open hand. This slide breaks it down so well. You've got 2 competing blueprints. On one side, there's our plan. It's based on our goals, our dreams, our timelines, basically everything we can see. But then you have God's plan, and that's filled with what we can't see, what we could never predict, and frankly, the things we're not even ready for yet. And this can change everything. You know that closed door, that job you didn't get, that relationship that ended? Our first instinct is to see it as failure or punishment. But what if, just what if, from that bigger perspective, it was actually protection? What if it was God steering you away from something that wasn't right for you? Okay, so we've talked about the big, grand plan. But where do you fit into all this? Let's bring this right down to a personal level. Because the message here is clear. You are not an accident. You are chosen. I mean, just let this sink in for a minute. Before the world was even formed, before there were stars or oceans, God chose you. Your value isn't based on your accomplishments or your failures. It was settled an eternity ago. That's a powerful, powerful thought. So what does this purpose actually look like? Well, according to the blueprint, here's your job description. You were created on purpose. You're called into a real relationship with God. You're chosen to be a light in a dark world. You're appointed to bear fruit, to make a tangible difference. And your story doesn't end here. You are destined for eternal life. That is a pretty incredible reason to get out of bed in the morning.
But it gets even bigger. Your story, my story, they aren't just these little isolated narratives. We're all characters in a much, much larger story. The Bible teaches that history isn't just a random series of events. It's actually heading somewhere specific.
So what's the final chapter? What's the end of the movie? The book of Revelation gives us a glimpse. First, evil is finally and totally defeated. Second, Jesus returns. Third, all the broken things are restored and made new. And fourth, God's kingdom reigns forever. That's where this whole story is going.
And I don't know about you, but when I turn on the news, the world can feel completely out of control. This is the reminder we all need. It's not. God's plan is still unfolding, right here, right now, even in the middle of the chaos.
And that same God who is weaving together the threads of all of human history, he hasn't forgotten about you. He is intimately involved in the details, and he is still writing your story.
So when you start to see your life this way, not as a series of random accidents, but as a story being co-authored with God, it changes everything. And that leaves us all with a really powerful and exciting question to ponder. What will your next chapter be?